The woke feminist mob is back at it, and this time they're targeting Grand Theft Auto 6 through shady backdoor pressure campaigns that's actually exposing their own agenda. I mean, definitely some massive cope on their end. You see, Grand Theft Auto 6 is now in some trouble, or not. A group of radical activists is trying to block people from buying Grand Theft Auto 6 by going after payment processors like Visa and MasterCard. Now, these same people already tried to get Grand Theft Auto 6 censored years ago, and now they're coming back with new tactics. Now, if this keeps going, you might not even be able to pay for Grand Theft Auto 6 when it finally launches after all the pushbacks. Now, the collective panic over offensive content, as they call it, has gone way beyond niche games. This game is now right in the crosshairs. It's not just, indie developers making NSFW content on itch.io anymore. It's Rockstar, it's Saints Row, it's Duke Nukem. These groups aren't just going after content like they don't like. They're trying to use corporate infrastructure to erase it. And the worst part, some of these payment processors are actually listening. And that should go ahead and concern everyone right now, no matter where you stand politically. You see, these people supported Cuties. They claim they're against exploitation while ignoring the real life victims in that film. But Grand Theft Auto 6, that's where they draw the line. Unfortunately, now the Zoom platform, one of the latest, companies standing up against this pressure, actually said that they were told Grand Theft Auto was being flagged by payment processors, not just vague games with adult themes, but Grand Theft Auto level franchises. I mean, maybe this is the reason why they continue to push back the dates and stuff for the release of the game. And this isn't just, hypothetical. They're actually trying to get mainstream titles blacklisted. And honestly, if they can get away with this, what stops them from flagging anything they disagree with? That's the danger right there. The market isn't deciding anymore. Just a radical political group from another country is deciding what you're allowed to buy on Steam or GOG. All right. So now you got gamers just crashing credit card call centers just to go ahead and make a point. They're calling Visa and MasterCard by the thousands, and you mess with their games and stuff, and they'll make you regret it. These companies clearly underestimated how fed up people are. You'd actually think that they would have learned after all the pushback during Gamergate and stuff, but here we are trying the same tricks with a new coat of paint. But this isn't some edgy niche game. It's a blockbuster, and they're still after it. I mean, that should tell you that this has nothing to do with morals. It's all about control. And it's also not like, these feminists just randomly picked this game. They've been after Rockstar for over a decade. Now, back in 2014, Collective Shout called for a total ban of Grand Theft Auto 5. They said it promoted violence against women, and they claimed that players were actually being encouraged to murder women for fun. I mean, it's just the same old smear tactic that they've always used. Take one extreme example out of context, call it systemic, and demand leadership. But here's what changed. Now they got financial leverage. These payment processors don't want bad press, so they fold instantly. And that's why Grand Theft Auto 6 is at risk now. And there's also this weird double standard too, where these same people claim that they hate colonialism, right? Well, they complain about stolen land and cultural oppression, but they have no issue telling Japan how to make manga, or telling Rockstar how to write characters and stuff and everything. Now, they say that they're against cultural imperialism, but they're the first to actually force their worldview on other people. Now, this game is made by a Western company, sure, but how long until they push for content bans in other countries too? I mean, if you ask me, it's already happening in the UK. There's age verification tied to playing GTA Online now, and it won't stop there. Okay. They never say that this was just about adult games. They acted like they were only targeting, corn sites with fetish content, but it was always going to spread. And the proof is now is how fast the conversation moved to this game. And now even journalists who once supported these feminists are backing off. Alyssa McConaughey, for example, one of the usual suspects in gaming journalism, originally applauded Collective Shout. And shockingly, now she's changing her tune because this game is too big to ignore. That's what it took to wake them up. Not the censorship of smaller devs, but the threat to Rockstar's biggest IP. Meanwhile, companies like GOG are fighting back the right way. You see, when pressure came to delist some of their adult games, they didn't just say no, they made them free for 48 hours. That's how you handle it. Give people more freedom, not less. Zoom platform is also looking at wallet-based, systems so users can bypass the Visa and MasterCard roadblocks. And there are also the moves that matter. Okay, because these are the moves that matter, because once you cave to people trying to censor the game itself, and they're not going to stop. They'll just find the next thing to target, and they've proven that they're willing to lie or twist anything to get there. Now, the payment processors should never be allowed to dictate, what media we're allowed to access. Their job is to process payments. That's it. They're not a moral authority. They don't get to tell you what kind of games are acceptable. And if someone wants to buy Grand Theft Auto 6, they should be able to do it. Full stop. And it's not Visa's job to act like a gatekeeper. It's not MasterCard's job to enforce values from fringe activists. But once they gave Collective Shout a little power, the floodgates opened. And now it's not just NSFW stuff, it's Grand Theft Auto 6. That's how fast it happens, okay? So there's actually no reason why games like Grand Theft Auto should be labeled harmful. It's satire. It's storytelling. Rockstar's games have always been controversial, but they've also been smart, okay? And nobody is forcing anyone to play them. But the feminist activists think that, they know better than you. And they don't want to go ahead and play it. They don't want you to play it. And they don't want you to do anything fun either. That's how this works. They hide behind moral panic just to go ahead and justify censorship. And if they can shut down your access to Grand Theft Auto, well, you better believe they'll target every game with pew-pews, crime, or anything they don't like next. So you also have the media outlets, the mainstream media, running cover for them. Now, they won't call out the hypocrisy for supporting Cuties while banning GTA. They'll just say, they just care about protecting women. But what does it say when the games getting flagged are the most popular ones among male audiences? I mean, this game is one of the most anticipated games in years. And it's no coincidence either that it's being attacked the same way Rockstar was a decade ago. The same script, recycled arguments, same bad faith tactics, and still mainstream outlets don't bother asking why it keeps happening. And that's no surprise right there either. Now, gamers are one of the latest groups that still push back against this stuff. They've been fighting censorship longer than most, and now, once again, the fight is at their doorstep. This time, it's not just angry blogs or review bombing, it's payment access too. That's why this is different. You can't just go ahead and ignore it in hopes it goes away. They found a way to go around you. Targeting Grand Theft Auto 6 isn't just about one game. It's about building a system where future games don't even make it to the market unless they pass the activist filter. I mean, that's the real danger right there. Once companies realize it's easier to just pre-censor everything, you lose the edge that made gaming unique. Grand Theft Auto 6 was supposed to be a no holds barred return to form. But now you've got to wonder, will Rockstar hold the line, or will they just cut content before release just to go ahead and avoid the controversy? Now, Collector Shout already won some battles behind the scenes. You see, they convinced credit card companies to take their calls. That's all it took to start the censorship, okay? And the next Grand Theft Auto 6 update might come with a list of things that got cut without anyone noticing. And that's the unfortunate part right there. You see, even if this game does make through with this, the precedent is set. A small radical group convinced massive corporations to censor content, and not just niche games. Some of the biggest IPs and stuff in gaming history that should scare you, because they didn't do it with logic or numbers. They simply just did it with pressure. The quiet kind, behind closed doors. They send emails, they arrange meetings, and before you know it, well, the storefronts start changing. Games disappear, and the people are actually making the decisions, that can't even explain why. And you're also seeing, government creep into this space. Now, the UK is pushing age verification just to go ahead and play Grand Theft Auto online. I mean, think about that. You'll need to show your ID just to log into a game you already bought. You think that's not going to end up here in the States too? YouTube already started it. Age restrictions, warnings, demonetization. It's all connected. Grand Theft Auto 6 could launch into a completely different environment than the one that Grand Theft Auto 5 had in 2013. And the people shaping that environment aren't gamers. You see, they're simply just activists, all right? And Grand Theft Auto 6 represents a fight over who controls culture. It's not just a game, it's a target because of, what it represents. Freedom, satire, rebellion, and dark humor. That's everything these groups hate. They want sanitized, approved media. They want you watching state-friendly shows and playing feel-good moral content. Grand Theft Auto 6 challenges that, and it's crude, it's over the top, it's offensive, but it's honest. And it reflects the real world in a way no Hollywood movie dares to anymore. Okay? So if you actually give them control over what you can buy, you lose that power to actually decide for yourself. You're not just buying a game. You're voting with your wallet. You're saying, I want this to exist. And when that's taken away, well, it's not just a product you're losing. It's your ability to choose. Now, Grand Theft Auto is under threat because it's popular, controversial, and made by people who don't bend easily. It's exactly why it needs to be defended, not just by fans, not just by journalists, but by everyone who values free expression. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button, share the video for our walk across social media. Join the Discord server in the description below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell for future uploads, notifications, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, peace.